Have you ever wondered why the United States has almost never been invaded? Despite fighting wars all over the world, the US always fights wars on other countries' territories, like Iraq, Afghanistan, Korea, Vietnam, and was deeply involved in both world wars. Today, we will dig into the geographical, military, and diplomatic core reasons that have made the United States almost impregnable. And you'll be shocked to discover, contrary to many people's understanding, US territory has actually been invaded more than once. Geographical environment is the biggest ace card for the United States since its independence in 1776. The country's strategic location fundamentally blocks the path of foreign invasion. Any country wanting to invade the United States first must face a natural barrier, the Atlantic Ocean to the east and the Pacific Ocean to the west. Before modern aircraft and submarines emerged, these two vast oceans were nearly insurmountable barriers. Cross-sea deployment of troops and supplies is logistically extremely difficult, especially from the 16th to the 19th century, when ships were slow and vulnerable to risks. Additionally, the US land borders are also unique. To the north, it shares the world's longest land border with Canada, but Canada has never posed a substantial military threat to the United States. Even during the few conflicts between the two, such as the War of 1812, America's geographical advantages were key to repelling British forces. To the south, the border with Mexico is covered by vast deserts and mountainous terrain. This landscape severely hinders the movement of large-scale troops. Although sporadic conflicts like the 19th-century Mexican-American War occurred, these natural barriers always made logistics and supply extremely difficult for invaders on US soil. The Rocky Mountains, the Appalachian Mountains, and wide rivers like the Mississippi make controlling the entire United States even more challenging. Even if an invading force successfully lands on the coast, advancing inland would face numerous obstacles. Thus, the geographical conditions of the United States not only provide natural defensive protection, but also buy valuable preparation time for national leaders when potential threats emerge. Over time, Americans realized that relying solely on mountains and oceans was far from enough. They needed to build a military force capable of deterring all potential invaders. If geography is America's first shield, then military strength is its sharpest spear. Since the 20th century, with a military ranked among the world's best, the United States has completely deterred other countries from invasion. This military deterrence began during World War I in the early 20th century. During World War II, the United States further solidified its status as a military superpower, gaining the ability to project power globally. Today, the United States possesses the world's largest and most well-equipped military. Its Navy alone has 11 aircraft carriers, a number exceeding the combined total of all other countries' carriers. These sea giants act like mobile military bases, enabling the US to respond rapidly to threats in any global waters. Moreover, the United States operates hundreds of military bases worldwide. This global deployment ensures that any potential threat is detected and neutralized before nearing the US mainland. Technology also plays a core role in the US defense system. The Patriot missile defense system effectively intercepts air and missile attacks. Advanced drones and satellites enable around-the-clock surveillance, making surprise invasions nearly impossible. But America's defense concept has long extended beyond its borders. As early as the 19th century, the Monroe Doctrine established the core idea that American affairs are for Americans, clearly stating that any invasion targeting American nations would be seen as a direct threat to the United States. The attack on Pearl Harbor during World War II further reinforced this stance. Of course, nuclear weapons are another key factor. Since 1945, the United States has maintained a massive nuclear arsenal. This is an extremely deterrent strategic weapon. Any country considering invading the United States must weigh whether it can withstand the devastating consequences of a nuclear counterstrike. The third major advantage of the United States is its strong economy and high degree of natural resource self-sufficiency. Since the 19th century, with abundant reserves of oil, natural gas, coal, and precious metals, the United States has ranked among the world's wealthiest and most economically diversified nations. This foundation enables the U.S. to sustain prolonged wars without excessive reliance on external imports. For example, the shale gas revolution in the early 21st century transformed the United States into a major global energy exporter. Rich natural resource reserves ensure the U.S. can maintain normal operations even under economic blockade. Additionally, the United States has a highly diversified industrial base. During World War II, the United States demonstrated astonishing military production capacity, mass-producing weapons and equipment, and logistically overwhelming opponents. This industrial strength remains a vital pillar of the U.S. economy today. The U.S. economy also benefits from a vast domestic market. A population of over 300 million gives the United States one of the world's largest consumer markets. This makes the U.S. far less dependent on international trade than other nations. Agriculture is another strong suit for the United States. As a leading global grain exporter, the United States can ensure its people have ample food supply even during global crises. Finally, the United States converts its economic power into a defensive weapon. Measures like sanctions, embargoes, and trade restrictions are frequently used to curb the development of potential threats, indirectly safeguarding homeland security. Despite possessing geographical, military, and economic advantages, the United States has not been without real threats in history. Several invasions and attacks have genuinely tested the nation's security defenses. The War of 1812 broke out. British forces advanced from Canada and captured the U.S. capital, Washington, in 1814. At that time, the United States was still young, struggling logistically and politically to organize effective defense. On August 24, 1814, British troops set fire to the U.S. Capitol and the White House. President James Madison and his administration were forced to evacuate temporarily. However, while symbolically significant, the British lacked the capability for long-term occupation, and soon withdrew. During World War II, Japan's surprise attack on Pearl Harbor became a historic landmark event. Although Hawaii is an overseas state, it holds irreplaceable strategic value for the United States. This attack destroyed a large portion of the U.S. Pacific Fleet, but Japanese forces missed key targets like aircraft carriers and fuel storage. This surprise attack did not weaken the United States. Instead, it prompted the U.S. to officially declare war, mobilizing the nation's full economic and military power against the Axis. In 1942, Nazi Germany launched Operation Pistorius, sending spies via submarine to infiltrate the United States, aiming to sabotage U.S. industrial facilities and infrastructure. But this plan ended in total failure. One spy surrendered to the FBI, leading to the arrest of all infiltrators. This event fully demonstrated that, limited by geography and stringent U.S. surveillance, conducting covert operations on U.S. soil is extremely difficult. Between 1944 and 1945, Japan launched numerous incendiary balloon bombs toward the U.S. West Coast, hoping to ignite forests and cities. But these balloons only caused sporadic small fires, with minimal material damage and psychological impact. Additionally, some invasion plans remained only on paper, like Germany's proposed America plan during World War I. During the Cold War, the Soviet threat also put the United States on high alert, prompting the establishment of a missile defense system. But direct military conflict never erupted. Throughout history, the United States has relied on these three core elements, geography, military, and economy, to build a nearly impenetrable defense system. Even when facing several attacks, it could quickly counterstrike. Today, the security threats facing the United States are quietly changing. Economic warfare, Cyber warfare and geopolitical competition are becoming the new battlegrounds.